Hello, good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present our top stories in the news tonight. Calls on lifting presidential immunity for former heads of states reignited. Sureties in trouble as the whereabouts of former presidential advisor KAIZER ZULU remain unknown. The Zambia Association of Manufacturers weighs in on the single African currency. In international news, South Africa's court dismisses ZUMA'S case against RAMAPHOSA. And in sports news, Augustine MULENGA joins South African CHIPPA United from NAPSA Stars.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RENGLOW, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello, and now the news in detail. Fire has swept through Hungry Lion store at the East Park Mall in Lusaka, destroying property worth thousands of kwacha. The fire that started around 20:45 hours in the evenings of Tuesday, 4th July 2023, was only put out around 21 hours by the fire brigade, who rushed to the scene after a tip-off from members of the public. And Lusaka City Council Public Relations Officer Chola Mwamba has confirmed the development and says the fire department moved on site to ascertain what might have caused the fire. She says the value of the damage is also not yet known, as officers are still investigating the matter. More in this report.
Fire has swept through the Hungry Lion storage at East Park Mall in Lusaka, destroying properties and goods worth thousands of kwacha. The fire that started in the evenings of Tuesday, 4th July 2023, was only put off around 21 hours by the fire brigade, who rushed to the scene after a tip-off from members of the public. And a check by Camnet News Wednesday morning found works to repair the damages had already begun, while management at East Park Mall and Hungry Lion were not ready to speak to the media. But Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba has confirmed the incidents and says no life was lost, while the value of the properties destroyed has not yet been assessed.
The local authority would like to confirm that there was an incident of fire at Hungry Lion East Park Mall last night around 20:50 hours. A team of firefighters was sent on the ground, immediately received a report from members of the public that there was fire at Hungry Lion, and they managed to put off the fire by 21:50 hours. And already an investigation team is on the ground to establish the cause of fire and its origin. And also, of course, the fires caused damage to a lot of things, including furniture, accounting papers, food stuff, and the paper packs that are used for packing food. And then also the valuation experts are going to be on the ground to establish how much has been lost in the inferno.
For now, some businesses near this gutted store have since been closed, and the shop owners are optimistic that works will be completed soon so as to allow their businesses continue to operate and cover up for the lost time. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Chikankata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Savao has expressed happiness on how the Constituency Development Fund's CDF has been rolled out in her constituency. The area Member of Parliament was speaking when she toured the agricultural storage shed and 2 by 3 bedroomed house at Wuche Wuche Primary School in Nansenga and in Zingu Ward, respectively. Ms. Savao said CDF has continued yielding positive results in her constituency through improved infrastructure, empowerment and skills development. Here's a report.
The Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has become a vehicle for facilitating development under the United Party for National Development, UPND. This has been done the fund has been increased from 25.7 million kwacha in the year 2022 to 28.3 million kwacha this year. However, there has been mixed feelings regarding the CDF making a positive impact or not, but for Chikankata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Sabao, CDF is progressive. She made the remarks when she toured the agriculture storage shed and 2-by-3 bedroom house at the Wuche Primary School in Nasenga and Nzingu Ward respectively, and commenting on the construction of the storage shed in Nasenga Ward, which has been built at the cost of 875,000 under the 2022 CDF. Ms. Sabao is elated with the rate at which the construction is moving.
Kankata has 2 chiefdoms, Chief Naluama and Chief Dennis Mwenda. Our people were collecting their fertilizer from Chief Dennis Mwenda, which is like 50 to 60 kilometers from here. Hence, as area member of parliament, I saw the challenges of my people, and it's one of the projects I proposed under the 2022 CDF that the main shed should be constructed here in Nasenga. And I'm really happy with the contractor who is doing a good job. This project started in April, and this is first week of July, and you can see progress, meaning that before the end of July, this project will be handed over to the community. Hence, it will be used for the 2023 fiscal.
And United Party for National Development UPND National Trustee Ms. Grace Chivube believes government has achieved a lot of promises within a few months in office.
Education, we have a lot of children going to school without paying anything. So even if when you come to the village now, there is no one who is going to offer you a glass of water, because most of the children are in classes. Because of that, now he thought of bringing his CDF under the people, closer to the people. This is what you are seeing now. Because some people, they are complaining that, teachers, they are suffering. Teachers, they have nowhere to sit, yet they were there now to teach their children. No, New Dawn is doing it. This is the house you are seeing here, 1-by-2 for 2 teachers, 3 bedrooms inside, everything it is inside.
And Nasenga Ward Councillor Stephen Muchimba also shared his views.
Let me say 2,000 to 3,000 people over Nasenga. Way back we used to travel about 30 kilometers away from Nasenga to the next shed of which we can collect our farming inputs from. Now we are very, very happy for this shed which has the CDF under our able leader, the president.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Acting Minister of Information and Media, Makozo Chikote, has appealed to members of the public who may have information on any public servant engaging in corrupt activities to report the matter to the investigative wings with evidence. Addressing journalists at a media briefing in Lusaka Wednesday, Mr. Chikote says no one is immune to the law, including the president, who he says should be reported to law enforcers if anyone has information that he is engaged in corruption. The lawmaker has reminded all those holding public office that they are accountable to the people and should be interrogated where necessary. Meanwhile, Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Services, Mike Imposha, says government has started the process of marking of all water bodies to ensure that encroachments on water bodies are brought to an end, failure to which will lead to serious water disasters in the future.
So there's no one who is above the law, especially us who are holding the public offices. We are accountable to the people. So when the law enforcement agencies come and find out certain allegations, I think we have to take it that is the best route to justice, to clear, allegations. So it is very important. I've read in certain quarters where some people are claiming to say, no, even His Excellency the President is also involved in corruption. He's also accountable to the public. If you have got evidence, if you have got information, report it to anti-corruption. They will go and find out from His Excellency the President, because he is also accountable to the people.
Over the last few decades, we have witnessed the decline of water resources across the country as a result of unsustainable human activities on water sources. recharge areas, wetlands, river banks, and other eco-sensitive water resources areas are allowed to continue, we will have a water crisis that will cripple the economy of this country. Considering the magnitude of the problem, my ministry has embarked on a robust program to deal with this problem once and for all. In this regard, we have commenced a countrywide mapping exercise that will identify eco-sensitive areas such as well fields, recharge areas, headwaters, dam bores, and wetlands. The exercise will establish the extent to which these areas have been affected and identify remedial measures.
Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has fired LUAPULA Province Minister Derek Chilundika with immediate effect. State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka says the termination of Mr. Chilundika's contract is pursuant to Article 270 of the Constitution. The President has since thanked the former minister for the services rendered. The Alliance for Community Action has charged that former President Edgar Lungu did not do the country any favor by willingly giving up power in August of 2021, as insinuated by Chawama Member of Parliament Tasila Lungu at a media briefing held on Tuesday. In an interview with Camnet News, organization programs manager Jimmy Maliseni says the people of Zambia spoke through a vote and that the president had no option but to respect the choice of the people. Mr. Maliseni says the sentiments made by Ms. Lungu that the former head of state willingly handed over power to the incumbent should not have been even mentioned at the press conference because he had no option but to leave. He, however, says it is not right for the state to fail to hand over summoned letters to the Lungu family, as was alleged by Ms. Lungu, further calling on the state to act more professionally. Meanwhile, National Restoration Party NAREP Deputy Secretary General Martin Mulenga says it is not persecution for people to demand accountability in how one acquired their wealth. More in this report.
The press briefing held by the children of the former President Edgar Lungu, chaired by Chawama Member of Parliament Tasila Lungu, has continued to attract reactions from members of the general public. While at the meeting, Ms. Lungu informed the nation that the dramatization of her family circumstances by the state in the daily tabloids has only worked to demonize her father, who worked diligently to save the country and willingly handed over power to the incumbent. Alliance for Community Action, however, says the former President Edgar Lungu did not willingly hand over power, as was insinuated by Ms. Lungu, but that the people of Zambia had spoken through a vote and that the president had no option but to hand over power.
But to say that he willingly or voluntarily left power, I think is a bit of a misunderstanding of what governance is about. It's a lack of appreciation of what a democracy is. So he did not have a choice. Power never belongs to those that hold it at any given point. I actually agree with people who say nobody actually holds power for themselves. Power is held in the interest of the people and also in trust of the people. So it really is an insult to our democracy. It's an insult to the integrity of the Zambian people, that people that leave power must be seen as benevolent, as kindly actors, as good people. That's not the case. They are responsible citizens. The most we can do is thank them for having obeyed the law.
Mr. Maliseni has, however, appealed to the state to follow the right channels of communication when summoning members of the former First family to appear before them.
What we'd love to implore the authorities is to please ensure that the suspects, and this is for every suspect in this country, not only for the Lungu family, are first and foremost informed of any proceedings against them that are being preferred. We understand for you to find out that there are some allegations that have been leveled against you by the state of all entities, and you are unaware about such allegations.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, National Restoration Party NAREP Deputy Secretary General Martin Mulenga says no one is immune to the law and that all those who serve in public offices should account for their wealth without attaching emotions to the matter.
And the sealer must just own up and understand that law is for all of us. And for the former president, having allowed his children to hold a press briefing, the assumption that we have is that obviously he had consented to what the children were doing. We find that, again, very disturbing because he's a lawyer and he understands what it means in terms of the respect of the laws that we have for this country.
For now, all the Lungu family has called for is not to be judged by the court of public opinion, but allow the courts to determine whether they are guilty or not. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A political activist, Dante Saunders, has charged that the presidential immunity must be removed once one leaves office. Speaking with Camnet News, Mr. Saunders says speaking with Camnet News, Mr. Saunders says this is the only way heads of state will be given an opportunity to exculpate themselves. He says Zambians must agree or disagree with the issue of the presidential immunity through a referendum. More in this report.
It seems the former First family ignited fire following a press conference to speak against what they termed as victimization by the United Party for National Development Administration, claims the government has refuted. Governance actors and social media commentators have been adding firewood to the conversation to expand the flame by coming up with their own interpretations.
Appeal to all of you is to allow us to defend ourselves in court. The dramatization of our circumstances by the state in the daily tabloids has only worked to demonize our...
The statement that they must not be tried in the media, but the courts has reignited a debate on stripping off the immunity of former President Edgar Lungu so that he can clear himself before the courts on allegations of having presided over a corrupt administration. Political activist Dante Saunders notes that the issue of presidential immunity will always be resurfacing every time one leaves office. Hence, it is important that the matter is permanently addressed. Speaking with Camnet News, Mr. Saunders, however, notes the need to have consensus on this subject.
And in the Constitution, we must have that after the 2 terms that he serves in the office, if he serves 2 terms or 1 term, whatever the case may be, not more than 2 terms, his immunity must fall aside when he leaves office. For a period of, let's say, even 90 days or 120 days, so that it will give people an opportunity and a chance to be able to question the outgoing president as to whether he took the right steps for the right decisions, or the right decisions that he made on behalf of the people of this country. In cases of, for instance, if you look at the last government where they had no respect for the rule of law, and so on and so on, you know, those kind of things should be brought up. But you can't bring it when he still enjoys immunity.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The Court of Appeal has declined an appeal for bail pending trial in a case where former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor, Dr. Chris Zuma, and 3 others stand charged with terrorism. Court of Appeal Deputy President Chalwe Muchenga dismissed an appeal for bail pending trial by Dr. Zimba and his co-accused Given Perry, Marlon Banda, and Potiphar Gwai. Justice Muchenga rules that the Court of Appeal has no jurisdiction to preside on an appeal for bail pending trial once the High Court dismisses the application. Dr. Zimba and his co-accused appealed to the Court of Appeal after Lusaka High Court Judge Concepta Zulu threw their application for bail pending trial last month. In her ruling, Judge Zulu ruled that the terrorism charge slapped on Dr. Zimba and his co-accused is not available. Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya has wondered why the state machinery is failing to find former President Edgar Lungu's Special Assistant for Politics, KAIZER ZULU. This came to light when an arresting officer, Friday Malikau, disclosed that Mr. Zulu is unwilling to meet his sureties. This is in a case where KAIZER ZULU is facing 2 counts of failing to appear before the nearest immigration officer and failing to surrender a diplomatic passport. Here's a report.
Pressure is mounting on Chilubi Member of Parliament, MULENGA, as former President Edgar Lungu's Special Assistant for Politics, KAIZER ZULU, is nowhere to be seen before the court. Mr. Fube and Lumezi lawmaker Munia Zulu, who has also not availed himself before the court, are sureties to Mr. KAIZER ZULU. When the matter came up for the return of the bench warrant, KAIZER ZULU's arresting officer, Friday Malikau, told the court that KAIZER is unwilling to meet with his sureties. Officer Malikau assures the court that a joint operation has been instituted to bring former President Edgar Lungu's political advisor, KAIZER ZULU, and his surety, Lumezi Independent Member of Parliament, Munia Zulu, to court. But Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya wonders why the entire state can fail to find KAIZER ZULU and his surety Munia Zulu, who is in hiding. Magistrate Munyinya says there is no way the entire state machinery can fail to find the accused person who's roaming around and know his whereabouts. She suspects that something is wrong somewhere. The court has, however, given arresting officer Friday Malikau time to follow up on the whereabouts of the accused. On the other hand, Patriotic Front Chilubi Member of Parliament, MULENGA, narrates before Magistrate Munyinya that last week he engaged some people to help him locate KAIZER ZULU. He says while in the village on Sunday, he was informed by the said people that KAIZER was spotted at a named bar in Charleston. Mr. Fube, in his explanation, says he reached the arresting officer on the phone, who did not pick up the call because he was in church. He says while in the village, he also talked to the accused twice but has been unable to reach him since Monday. As the bench warrant against the accused is in effect, Mr. Fube pleaded for more time as he assured that KAIZER ZULU is within. But Magistrate Munyinya wonders why Mr. Fube failed to inform the police that KAIZER was spotted in Charleston. In response, Mr. Fube says he relied more on the arresting officer than any other person. Last month, Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya issued a bench warrant against KAIZER ZULU for absconding in court sessions. In this matter, KAIZER ZULU is charged with 2 counts of failing to appear before the nearest immigration officer and failing to surrender a diplomatic passport. But when the matter came up for the return of the bench warrant, Wednesday, the accused was nowhere to be seen. The matter comes up on Tuesday, July 18, 2023, for the return of the bench warrant against KAIZER and Munia. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet Television News. We'll take our first break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
We'll continue with the news. The Zambia Association of Manufacturers, ZAM President Ashu Sagar, has underscored the need to continue expressing pros and cons of introducing a single African currency. The African Union acknowledges that a single African currency has many promises in terms of boosting trade across the continent and benefits for all member states through synergy and symbiosis. And Mr. Sagar says the single currency initiative is progress towards stimulating trade, but there is a need for discussions to find common ground on what can be effectively implemented.
The issue of single currency is important if it can be implemented properly. So how do you ensure that the value is correctly related to each individual currency of other countries? This is the main. It's not that it can't be done, but it has to be done properly. Let it be done properly where we actually have proper understanding of the underlying value. It's easy to say $1 is valued X kwacha, or $1 is valued a Cameroon franc at this price, but when you start integrating a new currency, what is the underlying value that stabilizes that uniform currency across borders? So we have to look at the impact of that before we just jump into it. Yes, it will help, but the roadmap to it has to be discussed with private sector properly and its implementation plan discussed properly.
Lusaka province has recorded the highest road traffic accidents during this year's Heroes and Unity Day long weekend. Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale says a total of 308 road traffic accidents countrywide, and 28 persons died. Mr. Mwale says of the total number of accidents recorded, 41 cases were serious injury, in which 109 persons were seriously injured, while 66 were slight injury with 81 people involved. He says Lusaka province recorded 142 cases, while 43 on the Copperbelt, with other cases having been recorded in the eastern, southern, central provinces, among others. Mr. Mwale says 273 accidents were recorded countrywide last year, as compared to 308 this year, with an increase of 35 cases, and attributed it to low compliance levels by most road users and human errors such as excessive speed, misjudging clearance distance, cutting in and failing to keep to the near side. Meanwhile, 650,600 kwacha was collected as admission of guilt fine during this year's Heroes and Unity holiday, compared to 952,286 kwacha collected during the same period in 2022. The Northwestern Provincial Administration has pledged to continue marketing investment opportunities available in the Northwestern Province. Northwestern Province Principal Planner, who is also Investment Coordinator, Christopher Walia, says the investment opportunities available in the province are being marketed for investment. Mr. Walia was speaking to NAIS when Ministry of Information Media Director and spokesperson Tabo Kawana toured the Northwestern Provincial Administration stand at the just-ended 57th Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola. And Ministry of Information Media Director and spokesperson Tawa Kawana says Northwestern Province is destined for more investments because of the opportunities it has in all the sectors of the economy.
Northwestern Province is endowed with natural resources which has continued to attract investment in all sectors. The province is poised for greatness as an attraction for investment in agriculture, mining, energy, manufacturing, tourism and trade gateways. As your premier investments destination, Northwestern Provincial Administration has exhibited at this year's 57th Zambia International Trade Fair with a call to market the rich province in all sectors. Senior government officials and the public have taken time to pass through the exhibition pavilion and appreciated the investment opportunities. Christopher Wadia is Northwestern Provincial Principal Planner and Investment Coordinator.
We have IPC They've set up the MULENGA processing plant. They are targeting pineapples, they are targeting other citrus fruits. But the challenge we have currently are the roads leading to the plant. And the roads leading away from the plant. So we're trying to advocate that roads are done the swiftest possible time, and then the border posts are also open for possible exports of these products that are going to convert from this state to a desirable state.
Minister of Information Media Director and spokesperson Tabo Kawana has taken time to visit the stand and is happy with the investment opportunities.
For me, I think that the market is ready. All we need now is to give the facility, the necessary connections, the necessary networks, and ensure that we do the needed infrastructure. You can't have these products processed there, and then the road that goes there is a hell run. But I think what is comforting also is to understand that this particular administration is equitable distribution of resources and development. So I can assure you that very soon you will see things happening there. We are going to have the road done.
We now leverage on strategic networks through, for example, COMESA, through SAP, the Robito corridor, or even the UN itself, and say, well, this is what we have. But we cannot move from where we are at the next level without your cooperation. And therefore, we've decided to leverage on those partnerships at organization level, at individual level, and also at corporate level. What we are saying now is that with the goodwill that is there with the current government, there is need to leverage on the goodwill and be able to transform the socio-economic landscape of Northwestern Province.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Development and Cooperation Director Rubas Mungandi is aware of the investment opportunities and assures the provincial administration of his ministry's support to market the province abroad.
I think the value addition is good, but I think it's a province which is got very high potential. I'm interested to see it flourish. It can be a launch for other provinces as well. Like you have said, even agriculture. Yeah. So we'll continue to support your efforts.
And by Z campaign, founder Evans Ngoma want the value addition for local products to be enhanced in the province. This year's International Trade Fair was held under the theme Stimulating Economic Development through Partnership, Trade and Investment. Krivach Tuta, reporting in Ndola, Copperbelt Province.
This is Camnet Television News. We'll take a second and final break. We have international and sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Now in international news, South Africa's court has dismissed ZUMA'S private case against President Ramaphosa, declaring it invalid and unconstitutional. We monitored African news for more news beyond our borders.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa welcomed the decision by the High Court in Johannesburg to dismiss the private prosecution case instituted by former President Jacob Zuma. The judge declared the prosecution of President Ramaphosa invalid and unconstitutional. Former President Jacob Zuma turned to the court after blaming President Ramaphosa for failing to act when he told him about prosecutor Billy Downer's alleged misconduct. Jacob Zuma is still fighting to have Downer removed from his arms deal corruption trial.
Paragraph 1, the state is to file...
The court also ordered Zuma to pay for the legal costs of Ramaphosa and those of two other councillors.
We are all aware of the news that we all became aware of
The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, held the opening session of a two-day meeting in Vienna on Wednesday. The 8th OPEC conference is being held under the title Towards a Sustainable and Inclusive Energy Transition. The conference will examine the current global energy landscape and future prospects in energy transition, market stability, energy security, investment, technology, and innovation.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Billions of people depend on our commodity, oil, for daily life. This is an inescapable reality that warrants respect. That is why OPEC pursues market stability. Of course, as an industry, we want to ensure that we have an emissions-free future. Harnessing technologies that can do this will be one of the predominant themes of this seminar. However, oil is too central and fundamental for life just to stop. We recognize the reality and constantly strive to reduce our environmental footprint. We can all move towards a sustainable and inclusive energy transition.
The meeting comes as Saudi Arabia announced on Monday that it was extending its oil production cut by 1 million barrels a day to boost flagging prices, while Russia announced that it will cut its exports by 500,000 barrels per day in August.
Authorities in Tunisia have issued a custodial order against dozens of illegal migrants following scuffles with local residents last Monday. The incident occurred in Tunisia's second-largest city, Sfax. On Monday, a 38-year-old Tunisian man was stabbed by a group of sub-Saharan migrants, sparking a wave of unrest. Authorities have announced that another group of 22 irregular migrants is appearing in court this Wednesday. 4 Tunisians were also accused of hosting illegal migrants in buildings belonging to them. Tunisia's second-largest city, Sfax, is a departure point for many migrants hoping to reach Italy, and tensions have been rising in Sfax for months. On Tuesday, another group of 55 migrants reached the Italian island of Lampedusa The group includes migrants from Liberia, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea.
It's now time for sports news. In our sports news tonight, former NAPSA Stars midfielder Augustine Mulenga has joined South African Premier side CHIPPA United from NAPSA Stars. After joining the club in the 2022-2023 MTN Super League season, Mulenga helped the pensioners to beat Zesco United by 2-1 during a Week 7 match thanks to a goal he scored. Meanwhile, NAPSA Stars FC head coach Perry Mutapa has described Mulenga as a quality player who will do well at his new club. The coach says Mulenga was a great inclusion to NAPSA Stars and contributed to the club's goal of stabilizing in the Super League following promotion. Augustine Mulenga played 22 games in the NAPSA outfit, scoring 4 goals and 8 assists, which is the club's highest number of assists for the just-ended season. Here's a statement from the club. On that note, we come to the end of our news tonight. Before we go, the headlines once again. Calls on lifting presidential immunity of former heads of state reignited. Sureties in trouble as the whereabouts of former presidential advisor KAIZER ZULU remain unknown. President Hakainde Hichilema fires LUAPULA province minister. In international news, South Africa's court dismisses Jacob Zuma's case against RAMAPHOSA. And in sports news, Augustine Mulenga joins South African CHIPPA United from NAPSA Stars. The common verse of the day is coming from the book of Galatians 5, verse 13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. Thank you again for watching Camnet Television News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.